Mm.
Um.
So I dealt with something called titty cheese one time.
Ooh, that's nasty.
Yeah. This young lady, her family was not really bathing her the way that they should. This was an older lady. I had to do an EKG on her, which
And
required
she had swamp. And she had swamp titty.
she had what looked like yeast infection under her titty that had been there for at least a year. I couldn't even get the electrodes to stick to her skin. That's how bad it was. And I also found a small piece of bacon under there as well. And I'm screenshotting y'all's reactions. Yes. That was not the nastiest I dealt with, but that shit nearly sent me. As soon as I lifted the titty up, it was like, I'm like, oh Lord. And I'm trying to remain professional.
Back you in the face like.
I'm trying to remain professional. I'm trying not to make any faces or any noises, and I'm sitting there like this. I'm like, oh my God. And then my gloves were covered in the titty cheese. I'm like, I don't want to throw this away. I don't want to throw this away in the ambulance. What am I going to do with these? I went and threw them in the woods. Like, I'm not throwing this shit away in this track. No. I refuse.
My God.
Man, listen. Now, you remember I told you I've gone to jail before. I went to jail in 1993 when I was 21. And there was a lady who was in our tank with us who had trichomonas, and you could smell her 4 cells away from where the cell that I was in.
That's a terrible smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a terrible smell.
Yeah.
When I worked in a clinic, there was a woman who came in who had a female item that she forgot.
Oh, the Coop Happy plug.
Yeah. She
kept on
complaining about an odor, right?
Mm-hmm.
That thing had been up there for at least 2 months. And as the doctor removed it, it like
lit that whole area up.
It actually left the room and like spread throughout the clinic. That's how bad it was.
Damn.
It was that bad. I'm like, baby, you need to be put on an antibiotic drip.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, she's medic. So as a CNA. Some of the older residents having yeast infections, and they've gone untreated. The cubitus sores, which are bed sores that have gone.
Oh, those are bad.
Yeah, that have gone outrageously wild, and you can smell those.
Yeah.
Oh man. The older men, if they're not cleaned properly, they develop some bad things behind their testicles. They get funky.
Like I said, that's not the nastiest thing I've dealt with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a lady who had a bowel obstruction, all right? And sometimes what'll happen is if the stool cannot go down, it'll come up and out. Yes, that is a thing. And it was one of them things that I studied and I'd read in a book before, but seeing it and dealing with it, that was a whole other level, because it's like it's a mixture of whoa and it's a mixture of oh my God.
And here's the thing. I have an older cousin on my grandfather's side.
She was throwing up feces. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And my older cousin, who was I think probably like 2 to 3 years older than my grandfather, died from that. They
Yeah,
called it log bowel.
yeah. It's very dangerous. And I
Yeah.
felt so bad because this was an older lady, and I can't even imagine mentally just knowing that is what you're throwing up. I'm like, oh no, I can't even imagine.
She had become impacted,
And the poor
and she
thing,
didn't let nobody know that
like,
that she had the impaction.
and the poor thing was holding it back the entire ambulance ride. And when we got to the hospital and started moving her into the hospital, she just let it all out. It got
Oh, dang.
everywhere. It was awful. And my